Okay, this is the this is the homework for the ASL to English interpretation of the digestive system in ASL for 425. Again, I'm gonna put this little sticky over the camera so because I don't like watching myself. But I just wanted to show my face so that you knew it was me. So now we're going to discuss what? The stomach. You know the stomach has a lot of important juices. It's so that the body can break down. The stomach's jobs are like a lot to do. And you remember the stomach works with 10 important other areas of your body. So the stomach has a very special job. It helps balance your life and make sure that everything's right. And, you can tell with other people how they are because your stomach's life. You know how, like, when people are just, like, staring at you, you get kind of like a gut feeling of what's going on? That's because your stomach is able to determine, you're nervous or your different kind of hormones. So how does the stomach actually work? First, you have to eat some food, and it goes in your mouth, and then it goes down your esophagus. There's a lot of important parts, there's the esophagus, there's your mouth, there's your stomach, and the intestines. Then you have the small intestines and the large intestines, and they all have their own personal jobs. There's other areas that are really important as well. Like your mouth has like the saliva, the taste buds, and a lot of different other important jobs to describe like that. Your stomach, it has 3 important jobs. What? First, it breaks down, and so that you can eat and drink, and like how you eat and you chew it up. The second one is a really hard job. It breaks down the food. Like when you drink it, it's all there in your mouth. You need to break it apart so that it's in different smaller parts. It's really important. So if your stomach and digestive system did not have a lot of different jobs, you'd be able to eat and then digest it very quickly. But now, like with your body, it's got a lot of different jobs that will help with your sugar, it helps with your proteins and your fats and your vitamins and minerals. And so what happens is it breaks all those down as it goes through your esophagus, and it like shares it with other parts of your body. So you know how like you eat and it's got to be broke down and whatever. You have to be careful with what you eat because like if it's too heavy, it doesn't really digest very well in your stomach. So imagine if a bird was eating a sandwich or some cheese or a hamburger. Anyway, if they were eating the food and you take a big bite, so now what do? Now where does it go? Remember the 3 important facts? There's the proteins, the minerals, the fats. So like what happens? You eat the food, it goes into your mouth. your teeth do what? They chomp down the food. That has like a chemical reaction to it that like builds up the different particles. So you have the food in your mouth and you're chewing it up and it's breaking it down into sugar and it's becoming smaller parts. And different kind of starches and stuff like that. So you sit there and you break it down with your teeth and all the chemical reactions happen, and then it becomes like a bowel. And so it goes down your esophagus. And now it's in your stomach. So the food is like a bowel, big ball, and it gets to your stomach, and then what happens? Again, more chemical reactions that takes all the proteins and breaks them apart. And so now it looks like the same as like a bowl, kind of. It's got the concave shape and it has different like muscles that contract and release to break down the food into different particles. So your stomach, once it's done, it can make different juices, and the juices help you digest the food better and make the food dissolve. It can break the foods down into like water, into different kind of chemicals, different particles of food. And so it's just very important that for the enzymes in your stomach to work, because it helps with those proteins. It helps break down the foods and create different proteins that become good proteins for your body. Proteins are very important in your stomach. If you eat food and it goes into your stomach and it's got a lot of different kind of chemicals in them, your stomach's going to work and your enzymes are going to help break those foods down for you. Just imagine, if you have food and you eat it and you have water with sugar and you eat the food but with no protein, it's going to go fast. It will. But proteins help break down foods in your stomach. It makes you feel satisfied. Your stomach has like a little area for like your pancreas, which is very small to your stomach, but it helps work with your stomach as well. So your stomach's breaking down the food, and it's very important that that happens. So then your stomach has, well, really it's got like a little area that goes down, but then it goes into your intestines. So the food transfers from your stomach into your small intestines. And it's a pretty easy transition. And then once it gets to your small intestines, it's finished. And then the fats in the small intestines must again be broken down into smaller particles. So in the small intestines, the food becomes into different chemicals. Like, it's very important that they transfer into these chemicals, but then the last breakdown process is where in the small intestines. before you would eat the food, you know, with hamburger and cheese on it, and it goes all the way down to your stomach, but it's really important for your body to work and be careful and be sure that all these things are feeding together and all these things are breaking down appropriately. So now we're here in the small intestines. And what it does is it keeps releasing different sugars and fats and lipids and proteins and different chemicals and enzymes and stuff like that to your body. So in the small intestines, there's like a little area where the small intestines are wrapped up back and forth and back and forth, and each bin has a different name. But what happens is all those things are released into your bloodstream from the small intestines, and it's very important for your fats and sugars and proteins so that your body can be well adjusted on a healthy balance. So once it removes from the small intestines, it goes into the large intestines. So by the time it's in the large intestines, it looks a lot like liquid and water and things like that. So it breaks down your stomach and again releases all the enzymes and the fats and the unnecessary, it releases, the necessary particles for your body. But all the bad stuff, it must come out so that your body can be healthy. And it's really important that this happens. So like in the small intestines versus the large intestines, there's a little area that so the large intestine is connected to the small intestine, and the large intestine has different areas of its own that are very important to the digestive system. It helps break down the different particles of the food, and then it all goes down to the rectum. So the very last important part of the digestive system is at the end of the large intestines called the rectum. And so what happens is the food that is not good for your health has become feces, and it moves over to your rectum very slowly, and it clears out of the stomach, it clears out of the intestines, but it's different than other different parts of the body where it's like a smooth buildup. So it's very important to remember that the water is now dried out from the inside because your body absorbs the water part. The large intestines works very hard on doing so. Allows you to allows the water to be absorbed in your body. In the large intestines, you'll find bacteria, but it's good bacteria that will help you, for different important aspects and stuff. So the digestive system is very important. It helps balance your health. It helps with the balance the proteins, the fats, and the different particles of food like that. The stomach is very impressive. And the very last step is all the way down to the rectum. The rectum has a very special, canal looking thing that allows it to build up, and then what happens is when it gets full, it nudges your brain to know that you have to go to the bathroom. And so the rectum will let you know that you need to go to the bathroom, and when you go to the bathroom, that is when you're allowed to finish the digestive process.